From Radio DePaul, Chicago's college connection.
My father spent 3 years restoring this car. It is his love. It is his passion.
I'm Michael Cera, and human skin is my passion.
I learned to feel things I'd never felt before. Love, jealousy, passion for disemboweling.
Look at all the passion on that wall.
Well, jazz flute has always been a small passion of mine.
It's a bathroom.
It's not just a bathroom, David. It's a passion project.
My passion project. Destroying someone else's passion project.
This is Passion Project with your host, Peyton Basden.
Well, fiddly-dee, fiddly-da. A riddle I have for you, audience. What comes in a box is unwrapped at Christmas time, but is the gift that never stops giving?
I don't know. What is it?
It's Passion Project, and we're back. We're so back. Great to see you guys here. Great to be here. I'm actually only seeing one guy right now. I'm gonna be honest.
No. Also, I will say this is the final episode of your season. Yes?
It is. It's the last one.
So we're back, but just for a fleeting moment.
Just for like an hour or so right now.
Beautiful hour.
Yeah. So like really cherish this because you don't know what you've got till it's gone.
Ooh, that's truly inspiring, and I've never heard anyone say that before.
Well, did you know they paved Paradise and put up a parking lot?
No.
Right?
No.
They put all the trees in a tree museum.
Are they charging to see them?
Exactly. No, I've been saying this, and it's deeply distressing to me. And I don't think anybody else has been talking about this. I'm scared.
They're gonna take away my old man.
No, not the old man.
Not my old man.
Speaking of old men, what's up? Well, great to have you back.
Oh yeah. I last time I was here, I was half of a duo, and we only had 30 minutes and a lot to say.
Yeah, and now you're back as yourself. You have a full
me.
hour and really nothing to talk about.
Yeah, no, it's like not. I mean, the topic today is not really something that I like to talk about. It's not really something that, like, if you gave me the chance to talk about, like, I probably wouldn't talk about it for long. I'd probably like be really quick and not know many facts.
Right.
So this is going to be a really fun hour.
And we are going to weather the storm together. For longtime fans of the show, please welcome back Evelyn May, Ev the Goat, Ev Rocks.
Many names.
Yeah, whatever you want to call Ev, do it.
As long as it's in kindness.
And as long as it's not late for dinner.
Tell me about it.
Oh, yeah. Great to have you back. And before we get into the sludge, the unfortunate truth of the conversation that is yet to come, I think it's important we address the elephant in the room. Mr. Pibb got a redesign.
Oh, Mr. Pibb. We were talking about this actually already.
And I have feelings.
Can you show me the redesign so that I can
yeah, I
picture it? Hold on.
Yeah, I don't have a device on me.
Oh, that's okay. I'm going to look it up right now.
I do this show very analog.
This is going to be my... Wait, hold on.
This is your one Google for the show, so use it wisely. I make arbitrary rules to make it more challenging for my guests, because sometimes they have it too easy.
The I is an exclamation point.
It is. Wait, Mr. Pibb!
No, it's like in the middle of it, though.
Wait, Mr. P.
Mr. Pibb!
Mr. Pibb! Wait, awesome.
That's truly terrible.
This might get me to drink a Mr. Pibb.
I don't know. It looks like a shirt is the thing. It's like they thought they were designing a shirt. Yes.
I originally saw it and I thought it was like a Christmas redesign, like kind of like ugly sweater-esque. But now that I look at it closer and know that it's just a rebrand for Mr. Pibb,
no,
I'm like, interesting.
Well, I think that I was telling Peyton about the history of Mr. Pibb and how it's a false recreation of the masterful Dr. Pepper, which, of course, as we all know, was created by a chemist who worked in a pharmacy that had a soda fountain, and he liked the smell of the soda fountain, and he tried to create a soda using science that would taste the exact way that the soda fountain smelled. And then he got bought by Pepsi, and then Coca-Cola tried to make their own using false copying techniques. And they named it something I think it was like Dr. Pibb or something. like
you can't
Dr.
do that.
Pibber. And they were like, that is
You can't do that.
incredibly close. So they took away the doctorate
Mm-hmm.
and the soul that came along with it.
Right.
And that's what Mr. Pibb is now.
And I think in a sense, Mr. Pibb now is more relatable to the average Joe, to the regular
probably.
guy. I think they've really opened themselves up though for sort of a no-brainer collaboration with the recording artist Pink
Oh.
and Pibb.
Yeah.
Actually do pay me for that idea because that is such a good idea.
That is
I'm putting it out there.
If they're not working on that, I really
Yeah.
don't know why they even did this rebrand.
As of November 23rd at 3:09 p.m., I came up with this idea. So if anybody has this idea after this point, it's because they listened to this show and stole it from me.
It's because they're one of our listeners.
When the Pink Pib collaboration happens, no, that was mine first, and I will be sending a cease and desist.
Okay, I'll back you up on that.
Yeah, you're
for
my
sure.
eyewitness.
Do I get a cut?
Sure.
Do I get to be near her when they film
Yeah,
it?
you can hang out with Pink, and then I'll take like the few millions of dollars.
Okay, that sounds like a really good.
It's a good deal
trade-off.
for you.
You'd probably get some soda as well.
Maybe. Hopefully not Mr. Pibb. I don't want to drink it.
Lame.
I can't tell you if I've ever actually had a Mr. Pibb.
I have when I order a Dr. Pepper and they ask me if Mr. Pibb's okay.
Right?
So I've had it.
Common restaurant experience.
Yeah, I've had it in a cup. Have you ever seen anybody get asked that and then go, no?
Yeah, no, that's not okay.
No.
I need Dr. Pepper
I'll
now.
have a stupid water then.
Yeah,
I hate
God.
you guys.
I hope, if I ever work in the service industry, I hope nobody ever does that to me because I'll freeze up and then curl up into a small ball.
Yeah,
Like
no,
a
I don't know
roly-poly.
if you could withstand all that.
Yeah,
I think-
can't handle much pressure.
I think everyone needs to work in some sort of like dehumanizing service industry-esque job in their lifetime, but I think your work with Walmart
Yeah.
has checked that box for you.
This is my service industry job.
Yeah,
This is my unbearable work.
Is this right now what you're
Yes.
doing?
This
your
is
service
my
to the
community
public?
service. Yeah,
Yeah.
my court mandated community service.
Yeah, you face so much throughout the process.
Yeah. You also brought up a prospect that is frightening to me, and I think I need to start considering
Okay.
is when this show makes it big and I get reached out with a sponsorship deal for Coke or Pepsi. Like, is Passion Project a Coke show or a Pepsi show?
Oh.
I don't know. I'm scared because I'm going to be honest, I want to be a Coke show. I grew up on Coke. Like, that's my vibe.
Yeah.
But, like, I think Pepsi might make a good offer. Because I love mug root beer.
And
I
this
really
is,
do.
I will say, if you're still tied to Radio DePaul when it goes viral.
When we go global, yeah.
This is a
Pepsi
Pepsi
school.
campus.
Yeah.
I found out that actually it's a Pepsi campus because students protested against it being a Coke campus.
What?
Yeah.
Are they stupid?
No, it was like at the time there was a lot coming out about like their involvement in some messed up stuff.
The evils of Coke.
Yeah, and like they were I don't know the history of it. I think they were operating in some place like they were mainly getting
Their moral
their stuff
superiority.
They were benefiting from some sort of war or something bad. I don't know.
That makes sense for
But
Coke.
Pepsi has its own military, so I don't
Right.
think it's all that better that we're. And the person that was telling me this, it was like a professor who used to go to DePaul. And so like she was part of the movement or whatever. And she was like, and Pepsi is like not really great, but we made that change.
Wow. Thanks. I don't think anybody's happy about it.
Yeah, no. I don't think anyone even like cares all that much, but I guess it was a win for them.
Yeah.
But
wow. I know Pepsi's done something terrible. Have you seen Starry? Hello.
Oh, hello.
Hello, that's a war crime. Come on.
You love Starry.
I hate Starry.
You
this
hate
is known.
Starry?
Have I not complained to you about this at
Oh, I
length?
know that you miss Sierra Mist.
Yeah.
You don't hate Starry.
I hate it.
Do you
I hate it.
Do you hate the taste?
I don't know. I've never had it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm
You're the number
boycotting
one
Starry.
soda guy.
Yeah, I love soda, but I hate Starry.
Why
The soda
didn't I
for
know
Gen Z.
this? It's because you hang out with the Starry crowd. That's the problem.
Do I hang out with the Starry crowd? Is that the
You
optics?
Absolutely do.
Do I hang out with people who look like they drink Starry?
You hang out with people that own Starry socks.
Oh my god.
You hang out with people that wear Starry merchandise.
Oh.
Their opinions reflect on you as well.
I need to reassess the people I associate with.
Yeah,
I'm going to do a lot of
maybe.
thinking after this because they just
Maybe.
announced Starry Cranberry. and I'm real upset.
Oh, I know, because you love Sprite Cranberry.
Because Sprite Cranberry is one of the beverages of all time.
Yeah, well, yes, of course.
It's wonderful. Genuinely, it's the thirstiest time of the year, but also the most wonderful because I get Sprite Cranberry, and it is so good.
I guess, like, Sprite doesn't own the cranberry added flavor.
They don't.
But it is a very targeted and, like, obvious copying move.
Mm-hmm. I know they won't get LeBron for that ad.
Yeah, no, they'll get someone
won't.
else, though.
Someone lamer, probably.
Yeah.
But, like, in my deepest, darkest truth, my most honest and vulnerable self wants to try Starry Cranberry.
See, I was going to ask you this because the problem is, like, Sprite Cranberry is great, but you don't see it a lot of places. It's usually, like, in a package of cans.
Yeah.
But if they're rolling out a new Starry, like, they're very serious about the product placement and the marketing and everything. So, like, that is going to be something you encounter. And are you ready to encounter that and, like, decide whether you're going to, like, break that sort of
my own, like, picket line, like my
yeah. I was gonna say, like, Hyman, but
yeah.
But with like trying Starry, or are you going to let your love for cranberry lemon lime soda win?
I don't know.
And your curiosity, I'm sure.
Because what is horrifying to me is that I might like it.
Yeah.
And that's scary.
Yeah, and that's how I feel about a lot of things. It's how I am with Glee. That's how I am. I think there's, like, most things I shouldn't try because I would like them too much.
Right.
Yeah. It's a problem. That's why I never got into, like, anime, because
I
was like, there's too much, and I can't have something else on my plate that I'm really into.
Yeah. Well, let's perhaps take a dip into the pool. Let's talk about niche interests. Yeah. Is there anything you're into? Perhaps exploration of the North.
Yes, I'm very fascinated in Arctic expeditions, specifically ones that have made the attempt to discover the Northwest Passage, which, as we all know, is a trade route through the Canadian Arctic, so that England could make quicker trade to China and India without having to go around whole continents like crazy.
Right, of course.
Yeah. So it was essentially like the number one desire of the monarchy in this time in the 1800s was to discover the Northwest Passage. It would be incredibly lucrative and incredibly impressive, and there was a lot of, like, social sensational. Oh, I like the way you're holding that pen.
I'm in business mode now. Yeah.
Social sensationalism around the idea of Arctic exploration. You know, there's the term Argonauts of people who went out on these big expeditions. And in Arctic expeditions specifically, Argonauts were literally seen as the astronauts of their time. Like, the way that we view space and the, like, mystery of it, they were like, there were sailors coming back with paintings of creatures no one had ever seen, drawings of massive bergs of ice that would just form, like, over a period of time and just become these huge land masses. Like, this was the sort of, like, supernatural stuff that would, like, titillate people in the same way we're interested in, like, aliens and Mars and stuff like that. So it's kind of, it's a really fantastical thing to study.
And I'm in England. I'm the king of England.
Yeah.
Let's say.
Okay.
Circa 18 whatever.
Yeah.
How did they know, like, the Northwest Passage exists? Was this, like, predicated on hope, or, like, were they like, oh, if this exists, it would be great? Or did they have any sort of evidence that this thing was exist? Because, like, I'm assuming they dedicated significant time and money and people,
lives.
Yeah, like human lives to find this thing. That it's like, did they know it was there?
It definitely started as like a, dang, this would be awesome. If and then it sort of became like a, well, there's got to be a way through. We got to find a way to get, like, our ships through here. And then it became just, like, more and more probable that it did exist based on, like, just studying of the terrain and, like, you know, the cartographers and stuff that went out there. It's really interesting because in order to survive out there, it took a lot of, like, hardiness and skill and like survival instincts, but these people also all had to have like another job. Like there were incredible people that went out and they would study the movements of ice structures and how they formed, and there were naturalists that were studying and discovering new specimens, but there were people that were going out and like studying the terrain and the movements of like the waters, and it just sort of all pointed to the probability that there was a way through. And they were right, but they were also wrong in the fact that there is not one Northwest Passage. There's like kind of a lot of ways to get through there, and in the modern day, there's even more. Heyo. So they did. Technically, the Franklin expedition, which is the main expedition I'm interested in, they expect that at some point out there they did find a Northwest Passage. It's just sort of assumed that they did. And because, like, in the search for the remnants of the expedition, the Northwest Passage was discovered, Lady Jane Franklin, the wife of Sir John Franklin, who headed the Franklin expedition, she commissioned like statues of him around England that like said like on the plaque like died discovering the Northwest Passage. Like he did discover it, even though we know from the few pieces of evidence of their traversing that he died pretty early on in the expedition, no matter how it went. She's saying that since while they looked for him, they found it. Technically, he did find it.
This is like the equivalent of like the moon landing, but Neil Armstrong died during takeoff, and they were like, he discovered the moon.
Exactly. We had to go up and look for his little pieces.
Yeah.
And then they got on the moon. And so, yeah, essentially that's what that meant to them.
So, sort of setting the scene for us.
Okay.
The Franklin expedition.
Uh-huh.
Did it come from that same place of like, we need to figure out how to get through?
Yeah, at this point there were a lot of like Arctic legends who were aging and really wanting like within their lifetimes to find it. A lot of them wanted to be the one to find it. And Franklin specifically was really desperate for some sort of reputation-saving success. He was getting really old. He actually, I think he was like almost 60, and they were saying like, you're almost 60, and he'd be like, actually, I'm 59. I totally could be wrong about his age. He's maybe my least favorite part of the expedition.
He's boring.
He's just so like, he's just like, he had the flu, and then he was like, I don't like my picture, and then because he was still weak from the flu, like he died really early. So it's like, no, who even cares? Like he was just around long enough to mess it up really bad and make sure they wouldn't make it out. But he was really desperate for some sort of success because he had a previous expedition searching for the passage which ended really terribly and gave him the reputation of the man who ate his boots. Because he ate his boots because it went really badly. He also had recently been governor of Tasmania and did such a bad job that he basically got like taken from the role. And then in the letters he was writing to his wife and even friends, like prior to when we lost contact with the expedition, he's just talking about working on this pamphlet that the two of them were working on to like be like basically call out all these other people in the government and be like, they didn't like me, so they made sure this didn't work out, and they took away my job because they don't like my attitude, and like this totally like catty little pamphlet he was working on. So he's very focused on his reputation. So I think he was probably like the third or fourth choice for leading this expedition, but it was sort of expected to be the last one. Because they were also determined. They had outfitted these ships, which were bomb vessels, actually, prior to being Arctic ships. They had gone to the Arctic before, but they originally, actually, the Terror was at the battle in the War of 1812 where Francis Scott Key got captured and wrote the poem that's now the Star-Spangled Banner.
Amen. Wow.
Yeah, it was there on the other side. And so these were bomb vessels, and then they were outfitted and made even like thicker and given engines with coal in them and steam to like get them through, and they were like, these ships cannot fail. Turns out actually 2 big heavy ships with a heavy engine that doesn't even have that much fuel is not going to help you in the Arctic when swiftness is really key. So that was part of the issue, was that they were sort of doomed from the start. Of course, also from the show that I made you watch, that their food supplies were tainted because they essentially took the lowest bidder, and William Goldner's canning company didn't know what they were doing. They sealed them all pretty wrong, so that the food spoiled, and the lead solder was in contact with the food. And so there were higher amounts of lead in these people's bodies. Their water system was also lined with lead. So they were being poisoned all the time. But they really thought, like, these are the ships that are going to push through the ice and get through the Arctic and find us this passage. But they were totally screwing themselves.
They were constantly consuming lead and spoiled food.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah, that's like pretty much all they had.
That is deeply tragic and unfortunate.
Yeah,
but like absurd to a degree.
On, guys.
That's like
they put these engines that were like the next big like scientific discovery. I'm pretty sure they were train engines prior. So these are hefty things. They're weighing down these boats. And there are literally remarks in the early letters where people are like, I don't think these engines are helpful at all, actually. I'm pretty sure they're slowing us down a good bit. But everybody's so excited about the fact that we have these engines that we can't just get rid of them. So it was really bad.
And then they did that.
Yeah.
And then they suffered.
They suffered very badly. So the fate of the expedition.
Yeah, so we start. We leave on our heavy boats full of lead-filled food and water.
Yes. We go out into God's great sea.
Yeah.
And here's the thing is that we don't know what happened. We know little pieces of what happened. What we do know that happened is that everybody died. Nobody made it. But essentially there are these things in the Arctic called cairns, which are just big man-made assemblies of rock that create these huge columns, and they were used by explorers and members of the Queen's Navy to leave behind progress reports, essentially. So the last time they were seen by anyone is by whalers in Baffin Bay on their way out into the big Arctic. And then the next little piece of information we get from them is a note called the Victory Point Letter. They were coughing a lot. The Victory Point Letter, which was left in a cairn that was recently used by some other explorers it was called Victory Point because they made it there and they were like, yay, we didn't die.
We did it.
Yeah, we didn't die. So it was left in this pre-used cairn, and it's this note that says, it's written by Lieutenant Graham Gore. He's like, everything's going great. This is where we are. This is what day we think it is. And it ends with all well. And then around the edges of that letter is a note from later on in the mission, about a year later, and it's like, Lieutenant Graham Gore is dead. The captain is dead. Our ships are stuck. We are screwed forever. James Fitzjames, who was the one of the commanders of the ship, the Erebus, which was the flagship. So essentially, it carried Franklin, who was the head of the whole thing, and then Fitzjames was sort of there to like take care of the boat itself. So Fitzjames is now the second to Crozier, who's the captain of the Terror, the other ship, and now in charge of the whole thing. And he writes down the date that he thinks it is, and he's wrong about what year it is. And they think that he knew what year it was and just was so confused because of the lead and scurvy. Because they also had a lot of, like, lemon juice on the ship, but after like a year or two, the lemon juice loses its anti-scorbutic properties. It no longer keeps them from getting scurvy. So these guys are scurved out. Like, they're doing really bad. We know little pieces of what happened based off of accounts of Inuit testimony, as well as, like, of course, artifacts as well. But it was disregarded for so long because people were racist, which might shock you.
What?
Yeah. There was an explorer who, well after they were all dead and gone, and by that I mean a few years, was like, I believe that Franklin is alive and out there, and I can go find him. And his name was John Ray, and he went to the Arctic, and he used a tactic that had never been used before, which is to talk to Inuit people like they're people, and learn from them and the things that they witnessed. And he learned a lot of things, namely the fact that the Inuit had encountered these white sailors on several different instances. These are really isolated groups. Most of them had heard of the existence of white people, but they had this idea of them in, like, you know, suits with, like, lots of stuff and, like, guns and powerful guys. When they met these white sailors, they genuinely thought that they were encountering, like, spirits, ghouls. Like their version of zombies, because they were, and then they were eating each other. They kept seeing evidence of cannibalism. They would see, like, legs in fire pits. They would see people literally eating each other. There's an account of an Inuit family who were that all the men had gone out to seal hunt, which is a really long process and really difficult. So they were alone without the men for a long time. So it was just the women and children and elders. And there was an old man who went out to see these white settlers that they thought were ghouls. And he was like, oh, I think they're people. And so they built an igloo for these Navy men. And they outfitted it with several seals, like full seals. These are men who have not eaten anything but scurvy food for a long time. And then they get out of there because they're like, this is bad news. I don't want to be around these guys. They're freaking me out. They leave pretty hastily, and they come back a few days later to see, like, to get the stuff that they forgot, essentially. And they find those men in the igloo still, all dead. The seals were untouched, and they had instead eaten each other. This is crazy stuff. This is freaky stuff. And so John Ray heard about this stuff, and he's like, well, obviously, you know, like, these are guys that went in completely unprepared, and they died out in the cold. Of course, they're going to succumb to cannibalism. He goes back to England, and he tells people, and everyone is outraged. They say, no, these men would have died a good English death. That's literally what they call it. A strong, British, respectful death. And Lady Jane is so furious, she, like, disparages. This guy dies, like, in anonymity, basically. He's disgraced. All of his, like, respect and titles are stripped from him because, like, Charles Dickens wrote a response letter. He was a friend of Lady Jane. And he's like, why would you believe these people? And, like, spewing a bunch of racist stuff, saying, like, they're the cannibals, blah, 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 blah. Because, like, yeah, who's more likely to succumb to cannibalism? Some completely unprepared guys that go into the Arctic, and they're wrong about what's an island and what's not an island, and they get frozen in for years. Them, or communities that have survived in these harsh conditions for generations and generations and generations. There's, I think, like, little to no evidence of Inuit people ever engaging in these kinds of things. And so, like, the idea that, like, they would lie is just crazy. It's crazy. So what we know from, based on limited, like, an interview with Inuits, which is it was also very difficult because obviously these people have different, like, customs. They have different ways of, like, counting. Like, and the book that I'm getting a lot of this from was written in the 90s, so a lot of it might be outdated. But there at the time in the 1850s, when they were like trying to piece this together, when people would talk to Inuit communities, they found that they don't really count numbers as large as we do. Like they'd be like, how many men were you there, and did you see there when you encountered them this time? And they'd be like a lot of hands. I don't know, like can you like they would call people over and be like, can I use your hands to try to like count out how many hands of people it was, because they rarely count more than what they can count on their fingers at this time. And so it's really difficult to piece together, but there's a lot of accounts of like hunting, actually, like successful hunting of elks for a bit, potentially over hunting in a way that harmed the natives that lived nearby. There's an account from one native man who said like to an explorer that he actually tried to do a ritual to make no game go near the ships, because they were like, we don't like that these guys are here. So obviously, like, we don't know what's happened in between, but in the end, essentially, everybody died, everybody ate each other. The Franklin, we know, died because it was mentioned in that letter pretty early on, but they think that potentially another captain died soon after, because there's accounts of a burial that was witnessed by a native individual that seems, based off accounts, like not at the same time that Franklin passed. So, but we do also know that Crozier knew the language of, he knew Inuktitut to some extent. And some other people also knew a little bit, but he actually already had a name. There was like a tradition when Arctic explorers came into contact with Inuit, they would do name trading. So they would so it would be easier for them to like introduce themselves to other white people or other Inuit. So his name that he traded was Agluka. And there's accounts of like Inuit saying like Agluka went this way, and he's considered to be the last person witnessed alive. But in the end, they all died. They got frozen. They eated each other. They found the ships actually very recently. Erebus was found because people actually went and talked to some native communities for the first time, and they were like, hey, do you guys have stories about where those boats might have ended up? And they were like, actually, considering this was the craziest thing our ancestors ever witnessed in their whole lives, yes, we have stories. And so they found Erebus based off of like this guy's story that his grandma told him. And then they found Terror in Terror Bay.
Oh, unrelated, like...
The bay was named after the Terror. Most things up there are like named after like explorers or ships or whatever. There's also an Erebus Bay, but it's not where Erebus was. Terror just happened to be found sunk
coincidentally
in Terror Bay.
Yeah. This makes sense. How does this? We talked about like a few causes, but like how does this go so horribly wrong?
Hubris. It's hubris. Yeah. They think that no man can stop them because they are England's great navy. They are God's chosen navy, and they can do anything. And then you get to a point where you say, this is either going to go really well or I should turn around right now. And when you're that close to discovering something that has been so desired by everyone in such a fantastical way for decades and decades, you don't turn around.
And when you're John Franklin, you've got nothing going for you.
You have nothing.
You really have nothing going for you.
Like, I really need this, you guys. And then they get frozen, and then he dies.
Yeah, that's like insult to injury that he was like, sorry guys, I screwed this up, and then dies immediately. Like he doesn't have to deal with it.
Yeah. In the show The Terror, which is what got me into this stuff, it's on Netflix. It's also on Zumo with an X.
Zumo with an X?
I think they took it off. Anyway.
No.
It's an AMC show, and it's a sort of supernatural take on what maybe happened during this time. And it's very good. It's super, like, I started listening to the audiobook of the book it's based off of, which was written in like 2009, and I didn't realize just how much work they had to do to make it like respectful and accurate to like Inuit culture, because the book is racist crazy, and I don't think I can fit, like, it is racist crazy in ways that you wouldn't believe, so I don't think I'll be finishing it. But it's the supernatural element in the book and show is this spirit called Tunbak, which is inspired by real like mythology, but pretty loosely, because it was adapted by a racist in his weird book. And he's a spirit that shapeshifts, and in the book he shapeshifts a lot. In the show he's just some demon polar bear the whole time. But in the show he really, I think they did a good job in making him represent sort of like the land's resistance to colonization. And I don't want to go into spoilers, but like it's really, really interesting. In the show, he kills Franklin like crazy and throws him in a hole, which is awesome. In real life, Franklin was really sick with influenza right before he set off, and probably died from that. Because I don't know if you should go on an Arctic expedition
with the flu.
You just got off the flu, and you don't even, like, this is during the time where flu is, like, what kills you.
Right.
Flu is natural causes.
And then he was like, no, I really need this.
Guys, I can't be the man who ate his boots. I have to be the guy that dies out on the ice.
Yeah. But hey, he got a statue.
He got a lot of statues.
I think that, I guess the lesson of the story there then is like marry somebody who will really ride for you no matter what.
Ride or die for
Ride
you.
or die.
Lady Jane. Also, she was his second wife.
Really?
His first wife died of like illness, and she was a good friend of his first wife.
Oh, wow. This guy's got a lot going on.
I know. And then she wrote so many pamphlets for him. She basically spent the rest of her life ride or dying for him, and never remarried, was always focused on his legacy or whatever, because I mean at this time, I mean when you're a wife, like your husband's legacy is your legacy, and she was a part of all these big fancy societies. She wanted to look good, and like also she missed her husband, blah blah blah.
Sure, whatever.
But there's a book called Maybe Be Spared to Meet on Earth, which is a compilation of letters from the Franklin expedition, and it starts with mostly, it's like letters leading up to like putting the team together, and then it goes into letters that we got from on the ships before the last like mail pickup, and then the last bit of it is the letters that were written by the families of these sailors after they were like declared missing, writing being like, I hope that you are still alive, like I hope this finds you, like, and they're writing letter after letter after letter, because most of these are going to be lost, like this is old time mail in the Arctic, like this is going to get lost, but the ones that we have, there's dozens by Lady Jane right up until her death, where she's like, I believe that you're still out there. John, I think you're still there, and I think you're gonna find all my letters, and you're gonna be like, wow, you were so worried.
This like 6-year-old man full of flu and lead
yeah
in the middle of the Arctic. He's doing great.
No, he's strong, he's out there, and there were explorers that see, because everybody liked Sir John is the thing. He was a nice guy and he did good sermons, so that's all you needed.
That's all you really needed back then.
It's all that you needed to be the most popular guy in town. There was like an explorer who left a boat up in the Arctic, like I think it is like considered like a yacht. Like the time, like
the
it's a yacht at the time, and he left it with a note that's like, it's like, John Franklin, this is for you. Like
you find this, come home.
You find this boat, you gotta send it, and you gotta get back to England.
Oh, that's wild.
And he was like the lamest guy there. He was, again, one of the last choices for who to lead the expedition. Crozier was actually pretty much higher on that list, but he couldn't be. So he wasn't really a leader. Like, he didn't like leading things, for one, but he was way more experienced in successful Arctic exploration. The main issue was that he was Irish. So they were like, we cannot have an Irish guy be in charge of this.
We can't do that.
So instead, he was the second, and he kept being like, hey, I think maybe we're wrong about this map, and it'd be safer to go this way. And they'd be like, Crozier, you're crazy.
Classic Irish.
Oh, yeah, you would say that.
Yeah. Because these people are evil and British.
Exactly. He also had proposed to Franklin's niece multiple times.
Oh, damn.
And she didn't want to marry a sailor, so it wasn't happening. But it's also maybe hinted at that he didn't like the idea of his niece marrying an Irishman.
Wow.
So there was a lot of tension on these ships.
So much tension.
A lot of tension on these ships. We haven't even talked about James Fitzjames, that diva.
James Fitzjames, my glorious king.
Yeah,
favorite character in the television series.
He's so
Highly
good.
recommend.
And his character in the television series is entirely different from every other characterization we'd seen from him, because between the writing of the book and the creation of the show, a biographer discovered that he was an illegitimate son. From his dad was like some well-to-do guy doing stuff in Brazil. And
of course,
there were a lot of other like Portugal like high families there, and they would like mess around with each other, whatever. And so he was an illegitimate son. Like his name is James Fitzjames, which means James, son of James, because they're like, well, he doesn't have like a mom really. Like,
yeah, he's just James's kid.
so he's seen as this like pompous guy. He also got the job because Sir John Barrow, one of the men who put together the team, he had been stationed with Sir John Barrow's son somewhere, and he was like seen as like a war hero or whatever. But one of the things he did was he saved John Barrow's son from some embarrassing instance. We don't know exactly what. There's some people who think that, like historically, have thought that it was some sort of like homosexual allegation, and he saved him from it, and then was like on John Barrow's good list. So all he really had to do was be like, kind of want to find the Northwest Passage. And then they were like, slap, get that boy on a boat.
Get him out there. Get James Fitzjames into the water.
Get James.
Yeah, James, son of James.
God, but he's such a diva in the show. He's such
delightful.
a diva.
He's delightful.
He also, his letters are some of the most colorful because he would add little doodles. He'd be like, I rode in a kayak today and fell over. Here's a drawing.
See, it's nice to know throughout all the hardship and cannibalism that, like, whimsy persisted.
And I also must note about him that in recent years there was a jawbone that was found among the wreckage and, like, all that spread out because there were many. It seems they split into many parties and wandered out and died. Some of them alone in the middle of nowhere.
Just random guys alone.
Just random sailors out there just becoming bones. But they did find that his jawbone showed signs of cannibalism. So they did eat him.
No.
Yeah.
My glorious king.
Yeah. And there were some theories, like in that book I read from the 90s, like this author was really convinced that the Agluka that made it in the end was Fitzjames somehow. But obviously that couldn't be the case because he got eated.
Yeah. Does he know that he got eten alive? Probably didn't get eaten alive. That wasn't the
No,
vibe.
he probably died and got eaten.
Yeah.
For most of it, I believe, was like people would die, succumb to the elements because they are in the Arctic. And everybody would be like, well, what are you going to do?
Yeah, you know?
Well, what are you going to do?
Yeah, you know?
You're just going to let it sit there?
Right?
They couldn't even really...
That's good person.
They couldn't even bury these bodies because they were on, like, either ice or, like, just shale. Just seas of rocks. And so the amount of strength it would take to bury a body under these rocks, they didn't have that.
Right.
They were dying. When they were pulling sledges at first when they left the boats to try to walk back, there are these huge harnesses that just like 10 men would be strapped into, and they'd pull these boats full of supplies. And then men would fall and get sick or die, and the sick or dead would get put in the boats, making the load heavier.
Yeah.
And then more people would fall and die, and so eventually they had to stop picking them up. But what we do see in all of these camps and all the wreckage is piles of untouched cans because the food was nasty.
Their poison food?
Yeah, the food was nasty or lead full, and so they just started eating each other.
Dang. That's...
And that's what happens when you're British.
And that's what it's like to be British. If you ever want a glimpse into the sick and twisted mind of like British colonialism.
Yeah, it's just pretty much you eat your friend, you die.
Yeah, all on the search for glory.
There is, I will say, I said on my story today I was going to talk about gay cannibalism. There is a lot of evidence of homosexual relationships out there on that ice. They got down out there on that ice.
A lot happened on the ice.
A lot of stuff happened out there
and
on
we
that
don't
ice.
like, hey, what happens on the ice stays on the ice because like we don't.
Because
they
die.
Know. But
now
like,
they're bones.
yeah, now everybody's dead and it's
Yeah.
like kind of chill. But like,
there's a lot.
No better place in the middle of nowhere and it's
on
cold.
Beachy Island, which was one of the places with the most artifacts because it's where they buried several people actually before they set out and got stuck. Just people that died of like normal scurvy and other stuff. They found 2 left-hand gloves that had hearts woven into them.
Oh.
So like they weren't somebody's pair of gloves.
No, 2 separate guys
With hearts woven into their gloves.
They found love in a hopeless place.
They did. I have a theory that they were the Hartnell brothers who were brothers on the expedition. That's my dream in my heart, but I also would like to believe that it would be gay boys.
Yeah.
Out there on that ice.
Yeah.
And then the show's created by a gay man. There's a lot of gay in the show.
There's a lot of gay people.
Yeah.
Being gay.
And more if you're me.
Pause.
Even more if you're me.
Yeah. If you're you and you're watching, everybody's gay.
Yeah.
Quite frankly.
Him.
Yeah.
Franklin.
When you put 100 men on a ship.
Just like 50 split in half and everybody kiss.
Yeah, that's a great plan.
Find
if you were in charge of this expedition, things would have gone a lot differently.
They would have stayed very warm.
The food would have been fine. Everybody
and I would have been
kissing.
like, guys, let me pull up Google Maps.
Yeah, wait, guys, we look a little lost. Let me check.
And
the
why
satellite.
don't we actually
GPS.
try like a plane? Because then you can fly over it. You don't get stuck down there.
How did this work? Who solved it? Who cracked it? Who eventually got through?
I'm pretty, I don't know the name, but I do know that it was like in the search for the remnants of the Franklin
These
expedition.
guys, yeah.
They were like, hey, I found one. And then somebody else was like, hey, I also found one. And then everybody found out like, actually, I think there's a lot. We just kept missing them.
It's it's tragic, but also kind of deeply funny and absurd, just in the sense that like everything went so wrong and they were so close to like maybe getting it right, because if they just like did it better, it would have been so fine.
But also they were kind of like screwed no matter what, because even like the Inuit considered that year to be like, they referred to several years as like the period with no summer, because the ice hardened in such a way that it hadn't before. Like it was truly some weather phenomenon that caused such a terrible chill that they were frozen in so solid. And when you're frozen in solid, that's dangerous for ships because it's either going to crush you and push you up, or crush you to atoms. And it will also move you super, super far just as a part of the ice. Which, fun fact, that actually had happened to the Terror before this happened. It got crushed, but then they put it back together. But wait, hold on. Where was I going with this?
It was a bad winter.
Oh, right. It's actually the same, like, wind chill phenomenon, whatever, was the exact same one that caused the Donner Party to get frozen in and eat each other. That was happening at, like, the same time.
Really?
It was the wind chill of cannibalism.
Bad year for a winter expedition.
Yeah, for found family out on the...
Yeah. Guys, if you're
road
considering going on vacation to the Arctic Circle, don't.
Or going to... colonize the Western United States.
Yeah.
Stay home.
Stay home, guys. It's not worth it.
And that's the message we can all learn.
Yeah, if we impart anything on you guys today, bring a map. Don't get too cold. Don't get frozen in.
Yeah, and make sure the food's good before you go.
Yeah. Don't eat lead.
Pay for some nicer cans.
Yeah, don't put a train engine in your boat.
In your bomb ship.
Yeah, it's a boat for boating, not a train for training.
What are you guys even thinking?
I think they were quite foolish in many regards, and I will leave it at that. I do not want to speak ill of these dead men. However, some of them were probably evil. However,
probably, yeah.
I do think some changes could have been made.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah. We are approaching we're rounding the final curve.
Yeah.
I guess proverbially we are getting frozen in at the end of this episode.
Yeah,
before
because
we
this
freeze
moment
solid.
will be frozen in time forever.
Yep. And will be remembered as we were, lead-filled and cannibalistic.
I feel like our lead poisoning is the microplastics.
Yeah, I've got
facing
so many
something similar.
microplastics.
Yeah, lots.
I
I'm
feel
full
good
of them.
though.
Yeah, me too.
I feel fine.
If anyone wants to learn more from me about this sort of thing, you can contact me. Or also, as a part of Messfest, I'm doing a presentation in the show Get to the PowerPoint already. Messfest is January 14th through 17th. I don't remember what day this show is.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. But I'm doing a presentation specifically about John Franklin's previous expedition and the cannibalism allegedly that took place.
Allegedly.
That took place during that.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I think it's even funnier than this cannibalism.
And he was so bent up about it. He's like, I'm going to go inadvertently kill myself in the Arctic.
No, this one's going to go really well.
He's like, okay, I remember the last one where people sort of ate each other. Not going to happen again.
No. This time it's going to be different, and I'm going to make it through to the very end.
Mm-hmm. Hey, to his knowledge, it didn't happen. Yeah. I like to imagine he died and assumed they made it out. He's like,
go on without me. Find it.
Yeah, and they did, mostly.
Yeah, but Lady Jane Franklin, that's the thing, is why she was so mad about the cannibalism allegations, is because she's like, my husband wouldn't. And then she found out that he wasn't even around for that part. He actually croaked it before they even got around to that.
Dang. And that must be, hey, glad I'm not him.
I will say, if you're thankful for anything today, be thankful that you are not on a ship going out to the Arctic with no hope in sight.
Mm-hmm. I think, yeah, if you're on a search for glory, check your hubris.
Oh, yeah, check your hubris.
Consider your legacy. Because, what is a legacy?
It's planting seeds in a garden you'll never get to see. And we'll go no further. Thank you so much, Ev. It's always a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And I'm
love
grateful
you.
to get you back in the studio. Mm-hmm. And I think you're a really good friend.
Oh, I love you, Peyton.
And you're one of my greatest friends.
Oh, I love you, Peyton.
You're awesome, dude.
You're the best. I love you.
All right, and that's the end of our... Was this the 7th season of this show? I love you too. I'll say it. I do. I mean
love
it.
You.
This was the end of our 7th season. We went out with a bang, or rather a chill, or rather a chilling tale.
They did try to use bombs to break up the ice.
Did it work?
Nope. They all died.
Darn. Well, we'll be back come winter time in the midst of the ice, in the midst of the cold. And we will continue sharing chilling stories of survival and intrigue.
And love.
And love will persist no matter through it all. I don't think they loved hard enough.
No,
their hearts were
the
cold.
problem. That was the problem.
Ev, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Peyton.
Thank you. Thank you, valued listener. I hope to see you again, both of you,
and
listener and Ev. And that's Passion Project. Yay! We need to start doing that every episode. It was such a clean ending.